Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy to redress some of the questions I had about a month ago or about housing starts, Mr. Speaker. And I watched a very interesting interview with the housing minister on one of our local political panels. I think it was this past weekend. When he got asked the question is, why won't he just take the GST off of all home building? And he stuttered and he stammered and he said, well, we don't want to make big changes. That's a really big change. We're gonna nibble around the edges. But in this very same breath, this party ran a campaign on building faster than the speed of light, building faster than anyone has ever seen houses be built. So I went back to Stats Canada. I see in July, housing starts rose by 3%, honest numbers. August, they dropped by 16%. So, well, the member across is shaking her head, but I can read it right here. Housing starts dropped sharply in August. Housing starts in Canada declined 16% in August 2025. It's Stats Can. So I know they're not big on actual numbers and factual information, but that's what it says on Stats Can right here. And housing starts did go up by 14% in September. So if you take it up 3%, down 16%, up 14%, that is not as fast as you've ever seen housing starts being built, Mr. Speaker. So when the Prime Minister talks about big major projects and getting stuff built, but his minister is very, very concerned about moving too quickly on certain policies. I know imitation is the finest form of flattery, Mr. Speaker, and I know they stole some of our campaign ideas, like taking the GST off of housing at $1 million and below, $1.3 million and below. That's a good policy. Like our leader said, he said, we're happy if you steal our good ideas. We want to make Canada a better place to live for Canadians. So take all of the good ideas from our platform that you want, Mr. Speaker. But how does this Secretary to the Housing Minister reconcile her minister's inability to move quickly with the Prime Minister's desire to get things built as fast as they've ever been built? Because those two sentences, Mr. Speaker, do not go together. And another thing I'd say is, how does this parliamentary secretary have faith in her housing minister, who was the former mayor of Vancouver, who left housing in Vancouver, the highest housing market in North America, possibly the country, the world, I think, actually, one of the highest housing markets in the world, Mr. Speaker. He left the Vancouver housing crisis a dumpster fire, so why would he do any better for Canadians?
Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Housing and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me just start by saying that actually the facts are clear. Housing starts are up, not down. Housing starts are up 10% year over year. In Montreal, it's 32%, and in Vancouver is 46%. So, with that said, let me reiterate, Mr. Speaker, that the Government of Canada is committed to solving the housing crisis. We've put forward the most ambitious housing plan in our country's history, and we are creating positive change in Canada's housing system. I'd like to remind my colleague that the last time the Conservatives were in power, they lost 800,000 affordable homes and built 6. We're building on our successes, making historic investments in new housing and working to lower housing costs for Canadians. As the member opposite should know, we just launched Build Canada Home, a new agency to speed up the construction at a pace not seen in generation, with a focus on affordable home across the full continuum of affordability. To restore affordability and meet the demands of a growing Canada, we need a drastic increase in housing supply of all types. Through Build Canada Home, we're building new homes to drive up supply and bring housing costs down. We're also taking action to help first-time home buyers with measures like the tax-free home savings account and home buyers plan to help Canadians save for their first home. Additionally, we are eliminating the GST for first-time home buyers on new homes at or under $1 million and reducing the GST on new homes up to $1.5 million. We expect the Conservative to get on board with this and help provide nearly $4 billion in tax cut to first-time buyers. Together with our partners in the private and nonprofit sector, Indigenous communities, municipal, territorial, and provincial levels of government, we're removing the barriers to new home construction, we're increasing the supply of affordable housing. Through targeted investment and financial measures, we're helping to restore affordability for Canadians. We need to build more homes, and we need to build them faster. One of the programs we've used to do this is the Housing Accelerator Fund, which is removing barriers to housing developments. We've signed agreements with more than 200 communities across the country to cut red tape and streamline the development process. We're also making significant investment in affordable housing through programs like the Affordable Housing Fund. As of June 30th, 2025, over 50,000 new units have been committed through the Affordable Housing Fund, and more than 30,000 of these units are under 80% of the median market rent, with rents expected to average $717 a month. Another 175,000 units have been repaired or renewed through this fund, with 135,000 of those units falling under 80% of median market rent. We're taking bold, decisive action to build homes across this country and to ensure that every Canadian has a place to call home. I hope the opposition can join us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Regina Louvain.
Mr. Speaker, forgive me if I don't trust the government who bought a pipeline, then cost an extra $38 billion to build a pipeline, and it had time extended on how long it took to build that pipeline. This government, these Liberals have never seen a problem they didn't think government could fix. I don't believe building a bigger government bureaucracy is going to build more homes for Canadians. I do see, though, 30 mills closing, having a shortage of lumber being a problem to build homes. I do see 106,000 people out of work, many of them in the construction industry, an issue with building homes. So if you don't have the people that can build the homes, you don't have the materials to build the homes because the softwood lumber industry is in a crisis because these Liberals can't get a deal done and mills are shutting down. How do we expect them to believe their government bureaucracy, more bureaucrats? I've never seen a bureaucrat pound a nail. I don't think more bureaucrats are going to get homes built for Canadians.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The Government of Canada is committed to solving the housing crisis. We're focused on delivering meaningful results for Canadians, not slogans, by creating transformative change in Canada's housing system. To lower our costs for Canadians, we need a drastic increase in housing supplies of all types, including affordable housing. To reach that goal, we're moving forward with Build Canada Home, starting with 4,000 homes on day one and tens of thousands more to come. We hope the Conservative Party will stop playing games and help us do the work Canadians sent us here to do. I encourage them to join us in supporting Build Canada Home so we can get more homes built faster, and support Bill C-4 so that we can deliver $4 billion in tax cuts for those young, first-time buyers trying to get into the housing market. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.